Broncos country, what is up? It is your boy Kodiak Broncos, and today I'm going to be bringing you the biggest matchup advantage that I think the Broncos have in this game, and where I think one of our star players must shine against the New England Patriots. But before we get into it, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, leave a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're not already. You can always wait until the end. Hopefully, I've earned it. And yeah, without further ado, let's dive right into it because we got no time to waste, and we're only 48 hours away at the time of me recording this from the Broncos taking on the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game. So the biggest thing that the Patriots have really struggled with this postseason is they've really struggled to protect Drake May, especially against really, really aggressive defensive fronts with the Texans and the Chargers, the two they played in. And the biggest thing for New England is that those games were at home, and your pass rush naturally just gets a boost, or your offensive line protecting the quarterback naturally takes a hit when you're on the road because you have to silent count. And that's where the Broncos can really get off and really get some nasty, nasty bull rushes and speed rushes from Bonito and Cooper. But just watch this real quick, okay? So one thing you're going to notice right here is that Will Anderson Jr., okay? Just keep an eye on him right here. So they try to get him a little lost in the sauce with like all this play action or whatever, but he does not bite at all. And you're going to see Bonito have a similar sack to this in the Philadelphia Eagles game in the next clip, but I'm going to show you guys that again. All right, ready? Watch Will Anderson right here. They're just going to run a little stunt, or not even a stunt, but Bonito's going to, or Will Anderson's going to go inside while everybody else is going to try to account for him, but that was beautifully done. Beautifully done by this guy right here to keep everybody away from Will Anderson, and he just gets to the quarterback so cleanly. Now, all right, pay attention right here, Nik Bonitto. So basically the same thing is going to happen. All right, you're going to get Zach Allen basically holding the interior of the pocket. He's going to draw two guys, and then Mailata right here on the Philadelphia Eagles is just going to completely lose track of where Bonito is. Okay, ready? Boom. All right, you've got Jurgens and Toph on the Philadelphia Eagles just blocking downwards, two guys blocking three guys, which is fantastic. But what that does is it allows allows the Broncos to have Lane Johnson on Jonathan Cooper, which is a one-on-one, and Nik Bonitto on Jordan Mailata, which is a one-on-one as well. But what happens here is that John Franklin Myers ends up getting a little free. So Mailata's like, all right, what do I do now? You know, Mailata's kind of hoping that Toph right here on the Eagles can somehow work his way back and block Bonito, but unfortunately, it's just way too little too late right there for the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to show you that clip one more time. 5-second clip, but it really was a masterpiece by Nik Bonitto right there. All right. This one, you're just basically going to see Will Anderson just flat out beat Will Campbell, and that's where I think the Broncos must take advantage right here. Will Campbell, great prospect. He went fourth overall for a reason, but he has struggled ever since he came back from his MCL sprain. And overall, I think a lot of people have said that he fits more as an interior guy. So, and if you're going to make that change, you really can't make it now or whatever. I think it's just way too late to make that change in this season. But watch this, all right? Literally just going to get beat to the quarterback. Speed, dip, bull rush. Incredible job by Anderson to not only get the sack, but also hunt the football as well. And this is where I think Bonito needs to have an amazing game. Okay, we're going to be relying on him to have a Von Miller-esque game. Now, watch this. So you've got Nik Bonitto against one of the game's very best right here in Joe Alt. And watch this. You know, gets off the edge. Boom, speed rush. Did that not look very similar? Here, I'm going to show you both plays once again. We can absolutely get after Drake May like that. We could absolutely have Nik Bonitto get after Drake May with the speed rush. Boom. If you're getting after Joe Alt like that, you can definitely get after Will Campbell like that, for sure. All right, now, once again, if you're going to rush him from the right side, watch this. He's literally just going to dip down and beat the right tackle. And Morgan Moses is the Patriots' right tackle on the other side of the line. Feels like he's been in the league for 20 years, but Morgan Moses, he has to be ready for this Nik Bonitto swim mover as well. Now, a big thing is that Moses had a very good game against Houston, which not going to say it's an easier matchup against the Denver front, but if you can do well against Houston, you can do well against anybody pass rushing. He had 23 snaps against Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson. He did not allow pressure. So Jonathan Cooper, you're going to have to really come to play on Sunday as well. Now, this is another one where the New England Patriots, they try everything they can to slow down Will Anderson Jr. Right here, boom, you've got Travion on his, trying to help Will Campbell with a little chip. You've got Will Campbell blocking down right here. So it's basically a double team, but Travion Henderson just does not get anything on Will Anderson. Will Anderson does a great job engaging with Campbell right here. Watch this. Does a great job engaging with Campbell to the point where Travion can't really get much on him, if at all. Like, he has his hand right here on the backside, but that really doesn't help him at all. And then Campbell, he just gets straight up knocked back. He tries to recenter himself, but ultimately too little too late. He's got a little flat-footed, and Will Anderson's just beating him to the for the sack. And yeah. So once again, that's where we need to take advantage, okay? And you're going to see very similar thing right here. I'm not sure how smart it is to have your slot wide receiver blocking a guy who was second-team All-Pro last year. But, so you've got Khalil Shakir blocking down right here, but different situation this time. Nik Bonitto's not going to work inside. He's just going to keep going on the outside. And Dawkins, once again, he's just a little too slow. And Allen's drop is too deep. And then, boom, Bonito gets the football from Josh Allen. Huge fumble at that point of the game right there. So, once again, the Broncos could absolutely wreak havoc on the Patriots offense. But it's going to be contingent on, getting after May, because the Patriots, they have a style of offense that I think we can really struggle with if we're not careful. They have tight ends. They have running backs who can, be dynamic weapons, especially in motion, which is something that we as a team have really struggled with. So, yeah. But once again, the Patriots will not unaccount for Bonito in the way that the Commanders did right here. But, yeah. Yeah. Either way, I'm super excited for this game, man. Let's watch a few more Nik Bonitto sacks where he just flat out beats a guy trying to pull and block him right there. 44 fullback who also plays defensive end. Boom. So that's where I think the Broncos can really match up well. Now, obviously, it's going to take a whole 53-guy effort. I'm not worried about Jarrett Stidham. I'm worried about the other guys, the other 21 starters on this team. But, yeah, that's where the Broncos can really, really get after this quarterback. And ultimately, I just think that, Drake May, he's been sacked 10 times over the course of this postseason. So I think he's going to be feeling a little shook. But the thing about Drake May is that he hangs in there. He makes plays regardless. He threw for 3 touchdowns last week, even after he fumbled the ball a handful of times, even after he was getting sacked all the time against the Houston Texans. So that's ultimately just going to be the big thing for the Broncos is you have to get after this quarterback. I don't care if you do it from the interior. I don't care if you do it from the exterior. But Nik Bonitto, he talked about it on the Pat Surtain podcast this week that, one of his favorite players growing up was Von Miller. You're going to need to have a Von Miller-esque game to really, really propel the Broncos to victory in this situation. You're playing with house money too, man. As soon as Bo Nix went down, nobody expected you to do anything. Vegas, they started the line at about 7.5. It's now shifted to 4.5. So, yeah. But that basically does it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys next time. I salute.